everyone, welcome back to Strawberry Podfics. We're reading Hysterical by Spark the Fangirl, Chapter 11, Lies, Camera, Action, Part 1. The press is a plague. Summary. The children encounter one of the worst creations known to men, the press. I'm just saying that if I ate a bear, that would make me the alpha consumer, Bakugo said adamantly, as he and Midoriya walked to the school. Oh no, I totally get it. Just keep in mind that eating a bear might be illegal. When has that ever stopped me? Touché. Anyways, let me know if you find a bear. The two boys neared the school and were about half a block away when Midoriya paused and looked at some bushes. Actually, he was looking into the bushes, not at them. Uraraka? Uraraka, who seemed to be hiding in the aforementioned bush, turned and shushed Midoriya. The fuck are you doing, round-face? Ida, who was also buried in the bush, stuck his head out and also shushed them. Ida? Midoriya asked, surprised. Both Ida and Uraraka shushed him very loudly, so loudly that it was in fact louder than the sound of Midoriya talking, which was kinda stupid. Shut up, you're going to blow our cover! What cover? Uraraka rolled her eyes. We're hiding! Midoriya looked around. He saw nothing out of the ordinary. From what? Them! Uraraka said ominously before pointing to the front of the school. Midoriya and Bakugo looked at the wild herd of reporters she had indicated. Uraraka, those just look like some harmless reporters. Ida began to laugh hysterically. Harmless? Those are the most dangerous and invasive species known to man. Observe as they hunt the native student. The children watched as Mineta approached the gate, presumably in order to get to class. They all gasped as he was swarmed by dozens of reporters and their camera companions. The boy struggled against the tide, but it was overtaken by the sheer numbers and ferocity shown by the creatures. His shrill scream ran through the area, carrying over the sound of nearby traffic and interrogative, well-dressed journalists. Finally, his shouts died out abruptly, and the reporters slowly dispersed back to wandering around the gate. Mineta was nowhere to be found. Oh shit, Bakugo said, stunned. You see why we have to hide? Uraraka asked. I mean, yeah, Midoriya said, but we have school. I don't think Aizawa will accept fear of cameras as a valid excuse. Besides, Bakugo said, continuing Midoriya's argument, we'll have to get used to this type of thing once we go pro. While I agree that attending class is a noble goal, one cannot simply waltz through a pack of hungry reporters, Ida said. Well, not without a distraction you can't, Midoriya said. You don't mean, Uraraka said, worried. Don't worry, I've dealt with reporters before. I'll be fine. Midoriya had, in fact, dealt with reporters before. This is because there had been several times he accidentally died in public and caused a bit of an uproar. Typically, a reporter had come by in order to cover the event, and Midoriya found that if he talked to the reporters as if he was simply a bystander, and then he was less likely to be recognized by the actual person who died. Then he was less likely to be recognized as the actual person who had died. Ida wiped away a tear. Your sacrifice will not be in vain. Kacchan will make sure you two make it past the stragglers safely. Like hell I will! Midoriya glared at Bakugo. Fine! You extras better carry your weight, though, or I'll leave you behind. Satisfied that his friends would make it to class safely, Midoriya turned and with a bounce in his step, walked right up to the journalist. What a fool, Ida said softly, in a mixture of awe and fear. You there! The reporter thrust his microphone into Midoriya's face, who didn't see so much as flinch. Tell me what it's like being a student of UA. Midoriya's face split into a huge grin. I'd love to. What, you would? Absolutely. In fact, I'd love to tell everyone here anything they want to know. The reporters perked up, smelling blood. They surged forward and converged around Midoriya, each one asking a different question. What year are you? How is All Might as a teacher? Is it true that Nezu and Midnight are in a secret relationship? Why the hell are you covered in glitter? Tell us about the symbol of peace. Midoriya held up his hands. Hold up! One question at a time, please. He looked over the shoulders of the crowd and made eye contact with Bakugo. He subtly tilted his head. Bakugo took the hint and led Ida and Uraraka sneaking around the perimeter of the gathering reporters. He let out a few small explosions to deter the lingering pests who hissed at the light, much like vampires. These specific reporters were not actually vampires. I'm sure that some reporters are, but these ones weren't. They were just typical press parasites, nothing more. The three students made it to the gate without any real opposition and watched as the gate slammed behind them as a man got too close. Oh man, I thought we were dead, Uraraka said in awe. Thanks for the help, Bakugo. Whatever. Will Midoriya be alright? I am concerned that he might cease to exist after this encounter, Ida said. As if the bastard would ever give me the satisfaction of leaving this realm. That, it seemed, was good enough of an answer for Ida. The three children walked into their class to find it almost completely empty. Hey, black eyes, Bakugo yelled at the only other student. Where the fuck is everyone else? Probably stuck hiding from the reporters, Ashido said. If you don't mind me asking, how did you make it through? Ida asked. We only managed upon utilizing Midoriya's brave sacrifice, he sniffed. My apologies, I'm still emotional about the whole situation. Easy, I just answered their questions. You talked to them? Uraraka asked in shock. Sure, all they wanted to know was about All Might. I told a couple of them about the hero training exercise we did and then excused myself to go to class. What did you tell them about it? Reporters only let you go after getting juicy information, Ida said. Oh, I just told them how he's a sadistic monster that enjoys watching children get blown up and pitting them against their friends in battles to the death. Uraraka and Bakugo were quiet for a solid minute. What? Ida eventually said, chopping his arms frantically in a spastic fit. Was that bad? Ashido asked hesitantly. Is this about the situation with Midoriya? Uraraka asked. You don't get it, Ashido said. It was scary. He was getting all exploded, and All Might was all like, exploding will make you a great hero someday. It was terrifying. Bakugo rolled his eyes. Please, the bitch was fine. I don't see what the big deal was. Can you please not sully his memory so soon after his passing, Ida said, tearing up once again. The fuck, Four Eyes? He ain't even dead this time. This time? Uraraka asked suspiciously. Oh shit, Bakugo paled. I meant yet. He ain't even dead yet. Yeah, because this time implies that he's died before, which he hasn't, because he's alive. Oh, alright, that makes sense, Uraraka said, stupidly accepting the poor excuse. Bakugo let out a sigh of relief. Chapter 11, Lies, Camera, Action, Part 2, All Might's Texan Cousin. Summary. Midoriya informs the press of forgotten All Might lore. Meanwhile, Midoriya was still surrounded by journalists and cameramen. He knew it would be a while before he could get out of the situation, so he decided to have some fun and improve his, as Aizawa would call it, logical ruse skills. Tell us about All Might, a reporter yelled. His voice carried above the rest, so Midoriya chose his question to answer. Oh, well, he's a wonderful... Midoriya stopped mid-sentence. I'm sorry, did you say All Might? Yes, we have a word that All Might has taken up a teaching job in UA. Midoriya started laughing. All Might? Teaching? That's hilarious. The reporters looked confused. The information was leaked. I hate to inform you that your information was sorely mistaken. Did they perhaps mean Y'all Might, the newest addition to the UA staff? Who? Y'all Might. He's All Might's Texan cousin. The reporters scribbled furiously in their notebooks. Do tell, one of them said. Well, he's visiting Japan, as there have been rumors of limiting his Second Amendment rights in America, but in Japan, hero gun usage is regulated by the Hero Commission. While he's here, he decided to take up a job at UA. What a fascinating development! I'm surprised that you don't know all about him already. I mean, there was that whole controversy a few years back where Y'all Might accused All Might of stealing his ultimate move, the Texas Smash. And you say this man is employed at UA? Yup, you can't miss him. He looks exactly like All Might, but with a cowboy hat and boots. Oh, and the Texas flag is a cape. And is he a good teacher? The woman asked from the back of the crowd. He's great. Sure, the mandatory cowboy hat dress code is a little difficult to get used to, but he's really a great guy. And he helps us with our English, so that's cool, Midoriya said. He was actually quite enjoying the fictitious story he was spinning. The reporters were buying it, hook, line, and sinker. Is Y'all Might enjoying his time in Japan? I think so. He's always talking about how happy he is to see All Might and his other cousins. All Might has other cousins? Well, sure. I'm sure you're well aware of Tall Might, the height hero, whose quirk is only that he somehow becomes taller than... that he is somehow taller than everyone he comes in contact with and is thus superior. And maybe even his lesser-known twin, Small Might, is a familiar name? Ah, yes, of course, the reporters all nodded as if they knew exactly who he was talking about. They did not, in fact, considering Midoriya had made them up not 10 seconds prior. Actually, on that note, I better get to class. I forgot my cowboy hat today, so I need to get one from the vending machine before class starts. The reporters thanked him for his time before scattering to find more prey. One woman, however, stayed. Can I help you? Midoriya asked. Kichi Kanzaki, journalist for multiple major papers and online news sources. She stuck out a hand, and Midoriya shook it. That was some clever maneuvering you did there. I assume you came up with all of that on the spot. Yep, Midoriya admitted. My friends needed to get to class, so I distracted those reporters. Kanzaki laughed. Yeah, they can get pretty intense sometimes. Most of them are harmless, just useless newbies who don't know a thing about the industry. Now, veterans like me, she smiled, showing her teeth, we're the ones you need to worry about. Good thing I'm immortal, Midoriya said cheerfully. You see, he was well aware that it would simply sound like he was joking and doubted she would believe him. She, as most reasonable people would do in that situation, did not. I like you, kid. She whipped out a business card and held it out to him. Call me if you want to tell more profitable lies. If you got something interesting for the public, or if you get into some newsworthy trouble, she squinted. You seem like the type to get into a lot of messes. Midoriya laughed. You got me there. He took the card, and then after rummaging around in his bag for a bit, pulled out one of his own. The reporter took it. Ooh, gold embossed. Nice touch. Thank you. I really better get to class now. See you around. She waved to Midoriya before turning to go home and prepare a story on the All Might scandal. It was 5 minutes to class, and yet Bakugo, Ida, Uraraka, and Ashido were still the only ones there. Do you think the reporters ate everyone else? Ashido asked. Don't be stupid, Bakugo sneered. Everyone knows reporters degrade your mind until it's a brain smoothie sloshing around in your skull. Uraraka winced. Thank you so much for that. Thank you so much for that pleasant imagery, Bakugo. Don't mention it. As if waiting for their cue, or perhaps just out of plot convenience, the rest of the class all filled into the room. They all looked completely fine and showed no signs of zombification at the hands of the reporters or any other press-related injuries. Koda, however, was holding a small rabbit, although I doubt that had anything to do with the reporters and was probably just because he liked animals. About time! Where were you extras? Well, we were all hiding in the bushes from the reporters when Kaminari of all people came up with a brilliant idea, Yaoyorozu said. Bakugo scoffed. Sparky? Brilliant? While I find it very unbecoming to make fun of one's intellect, I am also inclined to question this statement, Ida said. Really, that was just a fancy way of saying, you have got to be shitting me. Hey, I can have good ideas sometimes, Kaminari said, offended. Like what, putting your shoes on the right foot? Because that ain't a good idea, that's just fucking common sense. Ignore him, he's just jealous that you came up with a way past them and he didn't, Uraraka said. And you must excuse him, he's still mourning the loss of a dear friend. For the last time, he ain't fucking dead. Anyways, Uraraka yelled over the arguing boys, what was your idea? Oh, Kaminari said, it was simple, really. I just yodeled. Bakugo paused. Bakugo paused from where he had Ida's collar in hand and turned to Kaminari. The fuck? His face was twisted into some strange mix of complete confusion and utter disgust. Well, the reporters only come after you if they think they can get something out of it, so I figured that if I was to do something so inexplicably weird, they would leave me alone for the sole reason that it was unreportable. And that worked? Ashido asked in shock. Yep, although my voice got pretty tired after a bit, so I stopped... So I stopped yodeling and just aggressively did the Macarena to the gate. And we all saw that his plan worked, Gyurokudin, so we did what any rational person would. And yodeled... and yodeled and Macarenaed our way into school. This is not actually what most rational... what most rational people would do in such situations, as effective as it was. Rather, if you ever find yourself to be surrounded by crazed reporters, I would recommend simply swearing non-stop and causing any footage they pick up to become unusable once contaminated by the fuck. This is Bakugo's go-to solution when dealing with the media, although I'm not sure it's completely on purpose. Naturally, Ida said as he nodded. How did you guys get in? Sarah asked. Ida sniffed. It was tragic. Midoriya heroically sacrificed himself for us. Stop acting like he's dead. He has plenty of experience with reporters. He'll be fine. Is Monsieur Midoriya still out there? Aoyama looked around, seeing that Midoriya was in fact not in class. For the record, Mineta was also missing, but no one mentioned him because frankly no one cared. He'll be back soon, Bakugo growled matter-of-factly. Unfortunately, soon wasn't before the bell. Aizawa took one look at Midoriya's empty seat and let out a sigh of relief. He did not so much as glance at Mineta's desk. Seems the problem child is skipping today. Perhaps we'll actually get something done for once. He paused and looked at Koda, who was holding a bunny. Why? You know what? I don't care. Just don't lose it. Koda nodded. Sensei, if I may, I would like to say a few words in memory of Midoriya. This isn't a fucking funeral, Four Eyes, Bakugo snarled. He'll be here. He's just caught up with some reporters. Aizawa shuddered. The vultures. Ida bowed his head. May they have mercy on his soul. The mercy that a soul such as Midoriya's deserved is a largely debated topic, and one that Bakugo would gladly advocate against. However, before he got a chance, there was a loud bang as the class door swung open. Miss me? Midoriya strolled into the class, ignoring Aizawa's groan. Ida jumped to his feet with tears in his eyes and said, Thank you, noble Midoriya, for risking life and limb for the sake of your classmates. Now our class is whole once again. Everyone cheered, except for Bakugo, who just rolled his eyes with an I told you so. They ignored the fact that Mineta was still missing. He would return only minutes before lunch started, and uniform ripped in multiple spots, a microphone stuck in his ear, and an incessant mutter about crazed demons. No one would care. And that is the end of this chapter. I will see you guys next time. Remember to like, comment, subscribe, and all that good stuff. I will see you guys next time.